Where's that light switch?
I think it's over here, TJ.
Ow! Ed, you're on my foot.
I'm sorry, TJ. Let's find that light switch.
I think it's right here. Yep.
Ah, let there be light.
You know, light really helps you to get around.
And it's valuable for all sorts of things, and that's what we're going to explore today.
Welcome to the show. Before we start exploring, I need to let you know what question number 1 is.
What's question number 1?
Well, everybody, listen up. What other types of light energy do you use in your home?
TJ and I are going outside to roast hot dogs using sunlight. Ready, TJ?
Ready.
Get your coat, Cephas.
What for, Clyde?
We're going to toast hot dogs.
Fish don't wear coats, man.
This is a great way to show the wonderful property of light, reflection. We've built a little solar cooker here made out of materials that you can find at home.
That's right, TJ. Students could make this at home very easily. It's nothing more than cardboard. The piece back here is cut out and shaped into a circle and covered with aluminum foil.
With the shiny side out.
The shiny side out to get the most reflection. And what happens with this shape is that sunlight coming in on one side reflects off the aluminum foil, goes in, hits the hot dog. Sunlight coming in back here reflects and also hits the hot dog from all over. So instead of just getting the sunlight that normally falls on the hot dog or falls on you when you're sitting at the beach, we've taken all this area and concentrated all of its solar energy right on the hot dog, and that should be cooking very quickly.
I hope so.
Of course, there's another way to cook. We're using the property of reflection. Here, we could also refract the sun's light and focus it on the hot dog. Here I've got an ordinary magnifying glass or a lens, and I've got a nice little beam of light there. So in this case, I'm taking all the solar energy that hits the glass, this big area, and focusing it into a very small area on the hot dog. And so at that point, it will get very hot and eventually cook. But to cook that hot dog, really cook it, I'd need a huge lens, get lots of energy focused. That's what the solar oven does, gets a huge area, and in this case, reflects it onto the hot dog.
Hello.
Hi, TJ. You said something about what direction I'm going with light. Well, that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm exploring light's ability to bend or to refract. You know, usually we think of light from a flashlight or a star that's millions of miles away, always going in a straight line. But we can bend light, and that process is called refraction.
Right, and we can show the bending of light by pouring it out of a glass.
Let's give it a try.
Okay.
We've got water in a glass, and we're going to pour it into this other beaker. And we've got this neat little device here. This is just a plastic tube. It's solid tubing. And TJ is going to put one end into a light source, and you can see the light coming out over here. And now we will just pour the light. See if you can see that.
I can see the light following the path of the water instead of going straight out of the glass.
That's neat, isn't it? Mm-hmm. The light followed the path of water because it was bent inside that stream of water. It was refracted. Just like it's refracted in this tube, it's constrained to follow the tube. So we could tie this in a knot if we wanted to, and the light would keep going round and round. That's kind of fun, isn't it?
It is.
Here's another fun application. These are actually the optical fibers that in a few years will be coming into your home, and they'll be carrying your telephone messages and also probably all the cable TV that you will have. You could have 500 channels of TV or 1,000 different phones going. I don't know that you have 1,000 phones in your home, but these little optical fibers can carry many, many phone messages, as opposed to an old copper wire that can only carry one phone message at a time. So they're a nifty technology, and it's kind of fun.
Yeah, I've seen these at amusement parks. Really
Plug it
neat.
in and let's see some different colors.
Oh, look at that.
Now you can see that the light coming out of our light source is divided into, well, I don't know, a couple hundred of these individual fiber optics. So none of them carry a whole lot of light, but there they are, and they're real pretty, and this light source changes color, so that's kind of fun too. Here's another more useful application of fiber optics. Many babies, when they're first born, have a condition called yellow jaundice, and it's easy to overcome. The babies are put into a special crib that has ultraviolet lights above it. The problem with that is that when the parents come in to see their newborn baby, they can't pick up the baby and they can't hold it, which everybody wants to do, because the baby has to stay under the lights. Well, here is a Billy blanket, which solves that problem by providing light of exactly the right wavelength directly under the baby, so the parent can pick up the baby with the billy blanket very close to him or her and hold them and caress them, and still the baby's getting the light it needs to overcome the yellow jaundice. And here's one more fun application of fiber optics. This is a mask that is used at Disney for night parades. And all it is a whole bunch of fiber optics which are woven into, hey, isn't that neat?
It is.
Woven into this fabric, and the light comes through, and a plastic mask is put on top of that. So the mask shows up at night. You can see the character's face without having to shine a light on the character. And TJ, I think this is you. This is, Casper was meant for you. Give that a try. It is, TJ, really Casper?
Casper, the friendly ghost.
I think that's a lot of fun.
It is.
And we can see that the property of refraction, or bending of light, in these fiber optics is a great use for light and a fun way to use the property of refraction.
Right. Now why don't we go to the observatory at the Cleveland Museum of Natural History to see some more important properties of light.
We've been talking about the properties of light, and one of the properties of light is refraction. What a great way to demonstrate refraction with a refracting telescope. We're here at the Cleveland Museum of Natural History, and we're looking at sunspots. Clyde, could you show us the sunspots in the image here?
Sure. What we have is the sun being projected through a 3-inch telescope onto this white piece of paper. The crosshairs you see here are simply inside of the lens itself. What's notable is that you can actually see some big storms on the sun. Those are called sunspots. Give you an idea of how big they are. This individual spot right there is just about the same size as the Earth itself.
That small spot there.
Yeah.
Wow.
About 8,000 miles in diameter.
Clyde, this is a refracting telescope, and what that means is that the lenses refract or bend the beam of light. Because light goes through glass slower than it goes through air, it bends through there, and we can focus it down so we can get a lot of light down into a very small area and concentrate it, and that's what we're seeing here.
That's exactly right. It's the curved nature of the glass that will focus all of the light rays at the same plane or flat surface.
Clyde, what other properties of light lend themselves to telescopes?
Well, this one uses lenses and refraction, but most of your modern telescopes use mirrors to collect the light. And they work on the concept of reflection. The light is gathered by a large curved mirror and then focused at a point. Most of your modern telescopes have mirror systems on them, even bigger than the room that we're standing in.
Wow, they must be enormous.
Yeah, compared to this one, certainly.
So color is a property of light. How do astronomers use color?
Light is a mixture of all sorts of different colors. Scientists attach instruments to their telescopes to see exactly what colors are coming through from, say, different stars or planets. By that way, they can tell the chemical compositions of these objects.
Great, Clyde. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Sure.
Light is very fascinating.
Yeah, I think so too.
We've explored several of the properties of light, like reflection, refraction, and the speed of light. But what about light and color?
Well, most people think that white light is white, but it really is a bunch of colors. We've dimmed the light so we can use slides and slide projectors to show you this neat property of light.
That's right, TJ. You want to turn on the first projector, and we'll get a color up there?
Blue.
Blue. All right. How about the second one?
Right, and this one is green.
And the third is?
Red.
Red. These are the three primary colors of light. And if you were to take your television set at home apart, if you have a color TV, you would find 3 different projectors in there, one for each of these colors. And so, by mixing these in different combinations, we can get all the colors that you see on your TV set.
So the picture on the television screen is made up of these 3 colors?
That's right. And we can show that now because we can mix these colors to get different or secondary colors from these 3 primaries. Let's start by mixing the green and the blue.
Okay, let's see. We're going to get, light blue or
cyan.
Cyan,
okay. And how about if we mix the red and the green?
Well, that's yellow.
All right.
How interesting.
Yep, so there's a secondary color. And now we'll mix the blue and the red.
Okay, and that's like a magenta.
Okay. And let's mix all 3 and see what we get.
Okay. White.
We get white light. So by mixing them, we can get anything. And by mixing them all together, we get white. If we were to take them all away and turn off the lights, then we'd end up with black, or the absence of color. Let's find that light switch.
I'm having a great time talking about light and color and...
TJ, you don't look right.
Neither do you, Ed. What happened to all your color?
Where'd my color go?
I don't know, but this is really strange. Oh, no. Now we turned green.
TJ, you look like a frog.
Thanks, Ed. You know, if this doesn't stop, my friends are going to start calling me Kermit.
Or maybe they'll be green with envy.
Oh, no.
Now what?
Ed, are you holding your breath? Because you've just turned blue.
So have you, TJ.
This is terrible.
We need all you students out there to help get us back to normal color.
Here's question number 2. How do we get Ed and I back to normal color?
And what is the matter with being blue, Clyde?
Nothing, Cephas. Pay no attention to the humans. You're my best friend, blue or not.
We've been talking about light and color, and now we're in the offices of a pediatric ophthalmologist, Dr. Enlow.
Now, how does someone see color?
Well, here I have a model of the eye, and I'll show you. We'll open up the eye to see the inside. The light comes in the front part of the eye, comes through the cornea, and is focused by the lens into a very small spot in the back of the eye called the macula.
Dr. Enlow, that lens is just like the lens we saw in the telescope at the observatory, isn't it? Where the lens bends the light through the property of refraction.
Yes, it is. This very special spot in the back of the eye called the macula has some very special cells called cones. Those cones contain pigment, 3 different kinds of pigment, red, green, and blue, that are responsible for allowing us to see color. If you aren't able to see color, you may not have the proper pigment in the back of your eye in these specialized cells. We can test for this problem called color deficiency or color blindness in our office, and I'll show you that right now.
Okay.
Can we take the test?
We sure can.
Great.
This is a color blindness test, and what we're going to do is I'm going to show you some plates that have some numbers on them, and I just want you to look at each one of these color plates and tell me what you can see. You can both do it at the same time.
Okay.
Dr. Enlow, can we have the students back in their classroom take the test along with us?
Oh, I think that'd be a great idea.
Good.
Okay. Just read this.
Yes, tell me what you see, TJ.
I see an 8.
I don't see much, but I think I see a 3.
All right, and there's a 29, I think.
I see a 70.
Okay, and there's a 5.
Maybe there's a 5 there. I'm not quite sure.
And a 3.
Well, I see the bottom half of the 3, but I don't see the top half very well.
Okay, and a 15.
I think I see a 17.
74.
I think I see a 71.
Well, that's the end of our screening test. By your answers, TJ, I can tell that you were able to see each one of those plates correctly, and that lets me know that you don't have any problem seeing colors. Ed, on the other hand, had a little bit of difficulty identifying some of the numbers. That gives me information that you're having some difficulty perceiving all the colors. You may be color deficient.
I think I am. I think I am colorblind. Does that mean, Dr. Enlow, that somewhere in the back of my eyeball at that particular point, I'm deficient in one or more of those 3 colors, the red, the green, and the blue pigments?
Yes, that's exactly right.
Okay, well, thank you very much for having us.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
This is our surgical laser, much like we would use it in the operating room, and it's attached to a microscope.
The microscope is what we're looking at right here.
Right.
And the laser light comes in along this tube.
Right. This tube has mirrors and prisms that direct the laser light down and focus it on the area that the surgeon would like to use it on.
Just like a periscope in the submarine. It bounces the light off the mirrors and it comes down here.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
How would you use this for different kinds of surgery? Like what kinds of surgery could you use?
Well, there are certain tissues that absorb laser light. For this particular carbon dioxide light, it's like mucous membranes or soft tissue. And the surgeon would apply that to maybe like a lesion or a mole or something that he wants to, especially polyps, that he wants to remove.
These are all things that are growing in your body and you don't want them, and the doctor's going to cut them out. And instead of using a knife, they're going to direct the laser to essentially vaporize them or burn them out.
Correct. That's what happens.
Well, can we see how this is going to work?
Okay, the first thing we have to do is put on some safety glasses.
Oh.
Because the laser light, if it does bounce off here, which it very rarely would do, would be filtered out by these glasses, and that's to protect your eyes, because the laser light could also be absorbed by your eyes. It could damage your eyes, so we want to have our
safety
safety
glasses. That's kind of unusual,
glasses
because
on.
typically you think of clear glass, light passing right through clear glass, but in this case, the light is absorbed, is it, or scattered?
Right. Much like it would be like by the water. The water's clear,
Okay.
but it will absorb that laser light.
All right, good.
Okay.
So now we are safe.
TJ, you
you're
can
gonna-
fire that laser anytime
aim
you're
it?
ready. If you want to aim it onto the X there. And just push the pedal
Okay.
whenever you're ready.
Wow.
Whoa. There's
Look at all that smoke.
Uh-huh.
Now that's kind of hard to see. Why don't we move it aside? You can just barely see the hole there. It's pretty well defined. Let's try it over here someplace where we don't have a target marked.
Okay. Next to the X will work.
Suck up the smoke.
With a
that
little
that
vacuum
was
cleaner.
instantaneous, wasn't it?
Right.
And there is the hole. How many watts of power was that?
That's right now 10 watts, and
Okay.
she's holding it down maybe for part of a second. And this laser can go up to 50 watts.
50 watts. That's like a household light bulb.
Yes.
Except that this is concentrated and the household light bulb goes everywhere.
It goes everywhere.
Okay. You want to try it one more time? Ooh. There we go. Well, thanks very much for showing this laser.
You're welcome.
We saw how a laser can cut through wood. Let's try that with a fiber optic beam. Okay, we're going to put the piece of wood right here, and we're going to wave it back and forth, and nothing is happening. Well, that's very interesting. A fiber optic is a light beam, and a laser is a light beam. So here's the biggie question. Why didn't the fiber optic light beam cut through wood, but the laser beam did? I'm stumped.
TJ Science is all around us, even here at the supermarket where they use lasers to help check out products at the checkout counter. I'm going to pass the potato chips over the laser, and the price came up on the cash register.
Amazing. Now, Ed, you're a great shopper. I'm wondering if you could tell me what these little lines here are on the back of the bag.
These little lines are the UPC, or the Universal Product Code, and what happens is when you pass them in front of the laser light comes up and reflects off the bag and carries that code down into a computer where it automatically looks up the price and displays it on the cash register. Also, it goes to the back of the store and it tells the people in the store that they have to order more of this kind of potato chip because we just bought one.
Very interesting.
You've got something there, TJ, to check out.
Okay. Just run it across here.
Run it across. And it checked out and looked up the price. You know, the very first laser UPC system was used right here in the state of Ohio.
Oh, really?
In Troy, Ohio in 1974. And can you guess what the very first product was that was checked out?
I have no idea.
It was bubble gum.
I'll bet the students can think of many different ways that light and light energy are used all around us.
I think so. Our hot dog's not cooked yet. You know, the trouble with solar cooking is sometimes it takes a long time to get something cooked. Maybe some of you scientists out there can figure out a way to speed up the process. On the other hand, solar cooking's pretty neat because, after all, sunlight is free and we get more of it every second of the day. Other forms of solar energy, that indirect solar energy like coal or gas, electricity from hydroelectric power, they take a lot longer to recycle. If you take today's sunlight and try to convert it to coal, it will take millions and millions of years. So maybe solar cooking isn't so slow after all.
I'll wait in here for Ed to bring me a hot dog. We've discovered today that light is a great source of energy, and that white light is really made up of many different colors. Thanks for watching, and be sure to tell everybody that science is fun-tastic.